What's up, y'all, and happy 4th of July 2021. Just taking a quick evening cruise in my brand new 2021 Tesla Model S long range, which is not the Plaid that you've been hearing all about in the news. This is the base model, the new base model Model S, which starts at $79,000 and some change. This one, after options, came out to about $90,000, and I think this is probably going to be one of the first YouTube videos about this. From what I've seen from Tesla second quarter results, they delivered just under 2,000 refreshed Model S's, and most of those were Plaids. They nailed this redesign with the interior. There's nothing in here that I recognize from the first generation Model S. They basically took the best parts of the Model 3 and the S and combine them into a better car. So from the Model 3 you get the large horizontally oriented center screen while keeping the main instrument cluster for the Model S and X. You get push buttons to open the doors instead of the traditional handles we used to have. We finally have door pockets for storage on all four doors, just like the Model 3. That was a huge gripe I had on the Model S for the longest time, that you got this huge family sedan and the only pocket on the door you had available for storage was this little thing up here that barely fit a cell phone. You had all this space here that was just, I don't know what's back there, but now it's open, you can store stuff there. Our Model S had the yacht floor, which was, the center console was wide open. My wife actually preferred that because she could just set her purse right there and have it available like for doing drive-through food pickup. The center console now is actually, I would say, it looks complete, like they actually completed it. We're gonna go to the Rudy's supercharger here on 290. Nicely trimmed in wood grain. I mean, this is real wood. I like this. So you have a little storage pocket here. You get two key cards with your new Model S, as well as the traditional key fob. So you actually get 4 keys with a new Model S. I guess they figure that people that are buying S's are still wanting to have the key fob, but they're trying to push everyone toward the key card and Bluetooth phone entry, like the Model 3. Works for me because I love the key card and the phone key system. My wife is more of a key fob person, so this works for both of us. So, like the center console, you get more space here. They did away with the dual sliding armrests. Now you get one big, well, not even that big, but you get more storage. On the refresh, the charging status is actually moved over to the instrument cluster. So, isn't that just adorable? You get a supercharger next to the Model S, showing it plugged in. Let's do a little tour of the refreshed interior. So, like I said earlier, there is nothing in common with the old interior from the first generation Model S. The doors have been completely revised. We have door pockets, which we should have had years ago, but that's finally a thing. This is taken from the Model 3. We have a push button door release, which is actually better labeled than the Model 3. People still ask me how to open their doors, but it's labeled better now. The emergency release is right here, just like the 3. What else we have here? Well, obviously the center screen is now landscape orientation instead of the vertical that you're used to in the first generation. But this is actually very nice. I like this a lot. You can minimize everything and see more map. The audio is on the left side of the screen now. Yeah, with the first generation, everything was kind of stacked. It was kind of a, well, actually it was a split screen setup when they first came out. You had like one app on top, the other one below it. Literally the screen was half and half. You could even like, there's a button to like flip the displays. And then they refreshed it to have everything like kind of come up from the bottom, and then the map was just the default display. So yeah, this is completely new. So you can minimize the audio, see more of the map. Our last Model S had the MCU1, which was pretty laggy compared to this. I mean, this thing is just smooth as butter. It's a huge improvement. It may be this way with the MCU2 Model S's. I haven't owned one or driven one to find out, but all of your, I guess you want to call them apps or functions, are on the bottom now, and the icons have been revised. A little more intuitive. Music. So we still have Spotify. Let's see, we have FM radio. I don't think that it'll do AM. Pretty sure that it won't do AM. I think only MCU1 did that. Streaming, just like in the previous car. Spotify and TuneIn for all your news and podcasts. Quick controls have been revised quite a bit. So yeah, my wife named the car. I didn't name it. This is my wife's car. These are all your quick commands. So lock, unlock, there, front trunk, charge port, yada yada. Previously, this was all just on a picture of the car. There was a picture of the car on the screen, and you could just tap on the car what you wanted it to do. So the charge port release was, on the picture of the charge, literally the charge port on the picture, and then the same with the front and the trunk. The glove box is now unlocked from the screen, just like in the Model 3. The old Model S had a button right there you'd push. The mirrors and steering are adjusted just like the Model 3. So to adjust the mirrors, tap that, and then you use the scroll wheel. You use the scroll wheel to set it just how you want it. So scroll up to tilt it up, down to bring it back, and then left and right to yeah, do you know what? The steering wheel, it's not a steering wheel. That's adjusted just like the Model 3 again. So you use the left scroll wheel to bring it towards you, away, and then up and down. It's pretty slick. Okay, so Sentry and recording is now on the quick controls. You can see that the dash cam is actually recording. This car actually came with a USB memory stick already installed, so there was no configuration necessary. So let's see here, pedals and steering. All right, so we have a few options here. Acceleration mode. This car has chill, sport, and insane, just like the first generation SP85D. Kind of cool they brought that back with the long range. So I think insane mode went away in favor of ludicrous mode, which eventually became standard on the P100D, and then the Model S Performance when they dropped the number and D nomenclature. So we're back. We have insane mode. Insane mode is now a thing in the base Model S. And drag strip mode. This was a pleasant surprise when I first stepped into the car. I figured that this would be a feature on the reserved for the Plaid Model S, but they included it with this car because why not? It does 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds, and gosh, we're gonna find out the quarter-mile time next weekend when we go. Suspension. So this is all new to me. This may be standard in the previous Model S with the Raven suspension. I think this actually is the Raven suspension, but this is new to me. So this car is on air suspension. We can adjust the ride height. We can't now because we're plugged in at the supercharger, which makes sense. That'd be kind of a safety issue if you were able to make the car move while it was plugged into a high voltage DC charger. So I'll show that more once we're back on the road. Charging, of course, we're still going. We've gained 40 miles on this stall since we moved about 5 minutes ago. Autopilot. This screen should be familiar to anybody who's driven an autopilot Tesla in the past. It's nothing much has changed here. We have a full self-driving visualization preview. I guess that lets you see what the car sees on the instrument display, like traffic lights and road signs. All of this is pretty much the same as the last generation, except for this part here is new. So auto steer activation. This part's different. So on the previous Model S with autopilot, you would activate auto steer with the cruise control stalk, which is right here. You would flick it down. No, sorry, that's the Model 3. You would pull it toward yourself twice, and then it would activate autopilot. If you pulled once, it would activate the traffic aware cruise control, which is basically like autopilot without auto steer. The car is just, it's maintaining speed and tracking the car in front of you and staying behind it and matching its speed. And then on the Model 3, you had a stock. The gear selector stock came out on this side, and you would tap down twice to activate autopilot with it. So notice with this car, there are no stocks. So the way to get into autopilot is with the right scroll wheel. So this indicator here is confusing the first time you see it. It's telling you that this is for autopilot. So here's where it gets configurable. So you can basically not have cruise control in this car by doing single click activation. Cruise control is basically optional. You can make it single click. Say you're on the road, you hit the button once, then autopilot will engage. If you want to have cruise control, you can set double click and it behaves just like previous cars did. It'll double tap to get into autopilot and then single tap to activate cruise control. I never really use cruise control, so single click works for me. Locks, pretty much the same as before. Lights, display, trips. So this on the Model 3 would be on the bottom left. You have to swipe into it sideways. It's underneath the car display. And yeah, this car is still new. 619 miles on the odometer. Navigation, I don't have I didn't buy the full self-driving package for this car because I don't like the idea of paying 10 grand for something that's not fully developed yet. So I don't have Navigate on autopilot or Summon. There are a couple other features that I don't have as a result, but I have the base autopilot, which is more than enough. I have the enhanced autopilot on my Model 3, and I never use Navigate on autopilot on purpose. I use it once on a 2,000-mile road trip just to try it, and wasn't thrilled with it. So save that money. Safety is where you, let's see, set up the Sentry mode. You can configure the dash cam to save clicks automatically when you honk. So say someone's being a jerk on the highway, you honk at them, the car automatically saves that clip. Pin to drive, it's good for more security. Speed limit mode, if you turn that on, you set a pin. So if you're, say you're out, you for some reason you have to lend this car to somebody you don't trust. If it was me, I would just say call Uber, get an Uber. But say you have to let someone borrow the car, you don't want them to be a total lunatic with it, you can limit the speed they can go to. So you can lock that. I think you can actually lock it to chill mode, perhaps. Let's see. I'm gonna try it. Okay, speed limit mode 75, 1050. That's my secret code. And then let's see. Let's go back to pedal and steering. Nope. And then try to. Oh yeah. The car is locked in chill mode, so that's nice. So if you have to give it to the valet or to a friend that was a professional drift car driver at one point in his life, you can lock it in chill mode and limit the speed. That's a very nice feature to have. And here's where you actually turn the car off. So you pull over on the side of the road and you have to turn the car off. This is where you would do it. Because normally the car turns off when you just get out and walk away. You don't even think about it in a Tesla. So there's manual, towing mode. Okay. And we have software update settings here. Okay, I need to connect to Wi-Fi when we get home. My wife's got a good sense of humor. All right, so that is a quick tour of all the different control screens in this car. Okay, so now that we've gone through the central screen, let's look at the rest of the car. So, center console has been revised, as I covered previously. One really nice thing that I love about this that a Model 3 does not have. You notice this area here is wide open. This is where you would rest your iPhone, Android phone, whatever you have. Check that out. Wireless charging. It's not as fast as plugging it in, but it's better than nothing. I mean, it's just so nice to just get in and drop your phone in that space and just have it start charging. And then say you're stopped at a stoplight. I mean, everybody does this. Come on, don't lie. You're stopped at a red light. You pull out your phone. You check your text messages. You put it back, and you go. Not having to fumble with the cable to plug it back in is just really nice. So, love that feature. Again, door pockets are nice. Let's see, no, don't do it. Don't park next to me. No, they're breaking restroom etiquette. Okay, actually, never mind. They are staggering. All right, we're still Team Black here. So, what was I going over? Okay, so perhaps one of my favorite features that they put in this refresh that has been long overdue in the Model S. Notice how these seats are perforated? That is because we now have seat cooling. I feel so wrong, but so good. It's like sitting on a block of ice. And here in Houston, where it's like 95 degrees outside, it's incredible. So seat coolers, long overdue. So long overdue. The kids have their own screen here in the back seat. So let me see if I can activate that. So we got multiple displays here. We got the music, so they can see what's playing and complain about it. And they can even adjust the volume. And then skip the track if they know how to. We haven't told them how, and we're gonna let them find out on their own. You can control the rear seat heaters. I don't think that, the rear seat I don't think is actually cooled. It's just all three positions are heated. It's pretty cool. You got entertainment. So these will actually work while the car is driving, but I believe that it's not independent of the central entertainment system. So if you want to listen to music while the kids watch BattleBots on Netflix, that's not going to happen. You're going to listen to BattleBots. They can adjust their air vent. So just like on the Model 3, the air vent in the back seat now. On the Model 3, the air vent in the back seat is still a traditional vent, but on the Model S, they've made it just like the front. So you just tap and move around to adjust the direction the air is going on both sides. The kids were playing with this earlier. The one on the driver's side was changing the passenger side setting, and he was getting mad. So more opportunities for drama on road trips, but we'll figure it out. And then music. And they can set their own temperature up here. So actually that that affects the front as well, so it's not truly independent. Okay, so now it's split. I'm gonna take it down to 72 on the 71 on this side, 75 there. Let's go to the back seat. Oh, it's right in between. Okay, so now if we bump this down, I see. So if you have it split up here, the rear vent is right in the middle. Interesting. Okay, so the kids can actually mess with our settings from the back seat. Well, that's more of a management problem. So that's neat. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Okay, now we're at 90%. So 90% of this car is $365. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug and get going. Okay. All right, now we're back in. Yeah, I love the new rear seat design. Is really nice. It's more friendly for passengers, in my opinion. I'll do a separate video all about that. But this car is much more kid-friendly. The booster seats fit better, and the kids can buckle themselves much more easily, which is a win-win for everybody in the car.